Brothers and sisters, dear listeners and audience within and outside, this is your brother Essa Bokarr on the fourth part of our recordings today. And the theme is, why is it that deception, disappointment and the like remain as constant as the northern star in our political arena? That is what we are doing today with this in-depth analysis. We proceed on the fourth recording. Now, with reference to the audios or the videos you've just heard, I'm going to repeat this last part before we ended the third recording, which is, if you need more in respect of what has already been analyzed, simply Google Gambia Janneh Commissions of Inquiry on the financial dealings of former President Yahya Jammeh. Janneh is spelled Janneh, Commissions of Inquiry, and then you will see it is Africans you will see on the TV depleting their own funds, making their own country suffer. In 2017, a country of 1.8 million cannot still have reliable electricity. On one single go, what the former president depleted, or what his wife depleted, or some of the people around him could have bought us generators that can guarantee 24/7 electricity supply for the Gambia for the next 50 or 100 years. Who hates Africa? Is it the non-Africans or the Africans? The answer is yes. Now, the other side is, we can continue by searching for the most recent executive order on the Gambia from the United States government. The executive order to decide upon freezing the assets of the former president of the Republic of the Gambia and the other companies affiliated with him and his immediate circle. That is a Western country called the United States of America, standing to help us in Gambia recover monies that were lost. The same happened when Sani Abacha was dethroned. The money that he sent to Switzerland, part of it was frozen, or a greater part of it, and given back to the Nigerians. Now, who is fooling who, or who is harming who? The answer is yes. All local businesses in Africa need to do to escape tax and other aspects is just to be close to heads of state and their immediate families. That's it. All they need to do to escape paying tax or other legally binding responsibilities that are expected from them is just to be close to a head of state and his or her immediate family. Then that's it. They spend less and gain more by being sympathizers and praise singers, buying tables during banquets and sponsoring tables during banquets. That's it. Well, some of the gullible and the naive would tell you, quote, all politicians are the same because they promise but fail to deliver once they access power. That in itself is a catch-22. Can you blame the people who think like that? In a way, yes. In another way, no. You know what? You are the voter. You are the people. States come from you. Leaders come from you. It is just like when minds comes together to decide money, and then money comes out to control minds, then those minds to check themselves. Now, do you know why? We can never come out of this dark path of disappointments if we fail to vote for sincerity, honesty, and ability within the mindset of collective development, where individual development becomes a thing of the past, This is one of the diseases of Africa, of course, including the Gambia. We realize individual development but not collective development. If you go to the Gambia, I was there in May and June this year. You go to certain areas, you will see castles, not houses, castles, owned by people, built by people. Some are Gambian, some are non-Gambian, but the greater part are Gambians. But just leave the house, step at the door, then you see a street which is like a gully. It's a deep ditch. So look at the contradiction and the disparity. Then you will understand what I mean by collective development and individual development. Somebody collects taxes. Instead of collecting waste, recycling waste, they would go and buy 5, 10 cars and marry wives. That's what they call individual development versus collective development. You can never have stability in a society where individual development supersedes collective development. Never. Because the moment you have collective development, the moment the private sector is powerful, the moment there are so many people who are in the middle class, you can never have a dictator in that country. That's the answer. At least the basic thing is love yourself. You the voter. But you cannot love yourself without understanding yourself. Now, mark you, let me repeat that. We can never come out of this dark pitch of disappointments if we fail to vote for sincerity, honesty, and ability within the mindset of collective development, where individual development becomes a thing of the past. Okay? So should our leaders also start thinking of divorcing old approaches from so-called political strategists. You see, the entire wealth of a country put together is more than the wealth of any rich person in any given country. So any president who understands your duty will never fear a businessman. Just do your job. Now, many regimes think more of how to remain in power than use power to serve national interest. African leaders should always remember the contrast between the legacies of men like Thomas Sankara and Robert Mugabe and Yahya Jammeh, reflecting on the legacies of men like Amilcar Cabral and Samora Machel and Nelson Madiba Mandela also. Then they will come to realize that staying long or short in power does not count. What counts is performance with quality in delivery. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.